Hello, it's good to talk to you, Karla Thomas. I'd like to jump right in as long as you're okay with this. I have some questions for you. My
Okay,
first
thank you very
one,
much. Mhm.
why did you start this podcast, Mindful Eating, in the YouTube channel? What is your why?
Okay, so for myself, I started this to basically get people over the age of 40 to sort of like think differently and eat healthily. During the pandemic, for myself, I saw that a lot of people were like going through this type of situation where they needed encouragement. So that's why I started my podcast, Mindful Eating, back in March of last year. I saw that people needed a chance to sort of like engage in something. For myself, I'm over the age of 40, and I needed something myself to also sort of like push me forward. And I saw that people during that time as well weren't eating healthily. They needed a push really. So that's why I started mindful eating. It's typical. It's basically pushed for people over the age of 40 wanting to eat healthy and look after themselves. Because usually during that period, people tend to sort of like either go through health concerns, not everyone, but some people they tend to want to eat more better, and sort of like have a different perspective on life, because obviously when you hit like mid 40s you're thinking, oh wow, I'm getting older, so you see things differently. So that's why I started the podcast and the YouTube channel as well, which I've just started. It's also along the same lines, but at the minute it's just more targeted for like food recipes. But at some point, I want to sort of engage with people in front of the YouTube channel where I can actually talk and share with them about what mindful eating really is, basically.
Very good. Now tell me a little bit about your background. What is your professional experience?
Okay, so for myself, I've been a trained chef for 20 years. And for myself, I worked my way up within the catering industry. So I studied at catering college part time, and I worked from the lower levels within the catering industry here in the UK and worked my way up. And I have experience in contract catering. So I've worked in staff restaurants, canteens. I currently work in the school catering industry as well as a freelance chef and a nursery chef as well. And I also decided back in 2016, 2014 to 2016, to start up my own catering business where I provide like dinner events for people. So I decided to study that, how to start your own catering startup. Did that for a couple of months, and then decided to work on my catering plan, business plan, which I did do. I built a website, everything. And then I started to go to events and then target customers, which I was able to do. And then I have my low calorie cakes as well, where I've been to like events and stuff like that. And obviously, where I am now with mindful eating, the podcast and the YouTube channel. So I've had like a varied experience over the years, but I've always enjoyed food and also food and nutrition. So this is something that I've always enjoyed doing.
You have a lot going on. Can you tell me two or three main goals? What are your main goals?
The main goals for myself is number one, basically to see mindful eating, the YouTube channel to grow. I've only just started it, I would say, the middle part of this month. I have a few subscribers, and it's called the Mindful Eating channel. Basically, for myself, I'd like to see that grow. I'd like to be able to interact with subscribers and people wanting to subscribe, and basically get some customer base from that, where people can come in for consultation, but more on the mindset type of things, because I realize thinking correctly is very important. Because once you think correctly, everything can be in tune. Your whole body can be in tune. So that's something I want to do basically. And obviously, the podcast for myself as well. I'd like to see it grow even more, and also interact with listeners as well. I mean, I do have a lot of listeners on the podcast, but it would be great to as well to interact also with listeners as well. So that's something I'd like to do. And the third goal as well is just basically just see it grow from strength to strength, basically, and also connect with more people to see, so that I can work with them and obviously get more benefits from it as well, and vice versa. So I just want my podcast and my YouTube channel basically to help people, really, to help them.
Remark briefly, depending on what medium they're viewing us in, where do they find your podcast, the name, your name, the name of the podcast, where to look you on
Mhm.
social media? What can you say about that?
Okay. So on social media, I am on Instagram. It's called Karla. I think it's Karla on Karla_Heath. I will give more information about that. And then I'm on Anchor. It's Karla Thomas Mindful Eating. The YouTube channel, as I mentioned, is the Mindful Eating channel, but it's still a fairly new channel. So I don't know if I'll be actually found if you type it up immediately through YouTube, because obviously it's still a new channel. But I could be found on Amazon, Audible as well, on other platforms. But I am on Anchor. That's where I first started off on Anchor. Yes.
Very good. Okay, one
Mhm.
final question here. Where do you see yourself and this concept within a year, 2 years, whatever your time frame is? Where is this going?
Well, for myself, I would really love to see mindful eating expand in terms of subscribers and other business ventures as well, working with other people in the similar niche that I'm in at the minute. And also just to see it grow from strength to strength. I mean, in terms of this, I never thought I would have been able to start something like a podcast, but I'm glad that I did. And for myself, I just want to see it grow and just see people benefit from it. Because obviously, when people listen and hear things, for some people, it makes them feel good about themselves. Because I know a lot of people, not everyone watches a lot of television, but I know a lot of people read and they listen to the radio and stuff like that. So I do hope that what I'm sending out to people is encouraging others to live a happy, normal, and healthy life and remain positive about things, even when things seem a bit odd at times. But that's what I'm hoping for, really. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Wonderful. That sounds great. Well, listen, thanks for your time. You have a good rest of your day, okay?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.